Hello, welcome to Once Driven, Forever Smitten. I've just been busy rerouting the exhaust on this, but I've only tack welded it together and haven't fully tightened the manifold bolts in together because I'm moving it off because the car's exhaust has broken in two. So I need to sort that out, but I might steal the Peco exhaust off the Diplomat because it's not going anywhere for a long time and put that on it for fun. So we'll see how noisy this thing is when it fires up and out. Probably going to leak out the manifold quite a lot. Not as bad as I thought. Assholes. Right, now that we've extracted the Peco Big Bore one for the Diplomat, it's quite an easy job to remove this because it broke off right at the back there. Oh dear. Yeah, that pretty much had it, but at least it makes a removal a lot easier. Obviously this is 2 1/4, but I'm just going to make it 2 inch for the time being because I've noticed that a lot of these Astra systems you get for the valvers are also 2 inch, and I used to run a 2 inch Piper on my 130 back in the day, and it made 167 brake at one point, so we're just going to go and split it here and put our Clarius system on it, because obviously we've got no front box or anything on it because we don't need one. Right, 13s. There we go. These ones are used for Ecotechs, XEs and V6s. And these ones are used for 2 litres, 8 valvers. And also it would appear, as far as I can tell, on Mark III Astra 2 litres as well. They looks like maybe 2 1/4. So it's not going to make any difference having a 2 inch exhaust on it. So that's what we're going for. Because the Peco backbox fits it, and so does that 130 one. I don't know what to buy another backbox. So I've got the Peco fitted. Sits nicely under the bumper. Hooks in under there nicely. And onto our Clarius system, hooking into my homemade extended manifold. So I've got a good old run down to Wales with the car. Quite looking forward to it. Exhaust smells good. Right, took Le Cave, what did we do? 760 miles going down to Wales and back. Just updated the road angel. Down to South Wales, came off M53, A483, right down through the Welsh valleys. Car was phenomenal. New exhaust on it, running very nicely, quieter than it was before. But it's now sprung a water leak. Yeah, so no traffic for good long stretches on that way down to Wales. If you know the roads, they're like that. Phenomenal fun. But it sprung a water leak from the back of the thermostat housing, and I didn't want to interfere with it when I was down there in case I snapped the bolts or something. So I just topped it up at Carlisle. It wasn't losing it much. Now I had to run it on E10 down in Wales because the 2 petrol stations I went to didn't have any super, and it did feel a lot flatter running on that compared to when I got V-power on it at Carlisle, and I got the perfect run. Love it when I come home late at night and I come off at junction 13 and all the way from Abington to Lanark over the Forth, no traffic. That is a fun road. Cavalier's running well. No disadvantage to putting a 2-inch exhaust on it as opposed to 2 1/4 inch. But I've got the Mark III Astra CDX on the ramps. I need to go and get a new shroud for the welder tomorrow, but I do need to sort the sump gasket on it. The exhaust is going to come off anyway. I might put this on first because this needs a strut top and it needs an oil change now as well. I've just decanted some of my 1040 manual out of the big 20 litre drum that I bought into a smaller bottle. So I'll have to work out what to do. Probably kick the Astra off first because the exhaust's partially on it at the moment, so I can move it off easy enough. Then once it goes back on, I can whip the exhaust off it, ready to weld it up complete and drop the sump off it. So I will do this first. Hopefully the new strut top will get rid of that donking noise that it does when you turn now and again. I'm assuming that's what it is. Anyway, one Irwin chapped over the top of the bolt where it's leaking out. You can see it's pouring out of there now, it's getting worse. So we'll see if this is going to slacken it. And it's away. It's off. Getting the bottom one out, that's going to be the more tricky one. Well, that's him out anyway. Borderline.
Okay, James. There's somebody behind you.
Still leaking. It's the core plug behind the exhaust manifold, unfortunately, so the exhaust manifold's going to have to come off. That is annoying. But yeah, it is what it is. An engine like that engine could have 300,000 mile on it for all we know. Yeah. Right, it's now Friday and I've been to Machine Mart in Edinburgh, which isn't the easiest place to get to, but I needed to get a shroud for the welder and I ended up buying a load of other tools while I was there. Currently on the Sam, I need to fit a headlight adjuster to the front because it's broken. The belt's quieting down on it now that it's in a run. It's driving very well, in fact. My plan for tonight is hopefully I can get the welder working properly and then I can weld the exhaust up complete, get that on and take the sump off it, seal the sump up with a bit of silicone because putting the gasket on without any sealant doesn't work. And then that should be the Astra a good bit closer. Need to sort out the steering wheel, whether I'm going to run an airbag or not. I would like to run the airbag feel on it. That would be handy. But we'll see. That Peugeot in front of me has got a sticker on it. Penalty charge notice enclosed. You parked like a CUNT. I've seen that on Twitter, an account like that, so I wonder if he's parked somewhere that he shouldn't have and somebody's stuck that on it and either can't take it off or he just doesn't care. Not really ideal to be driving about with that in your car. Yeah. My Saab drives so nicely when it's behaving itself. Yes, we've been to Machine Mart, lots of goodies. I need that to get my VAT back. Put that somewhere safe. A nice rubber air hose for the compressor. A shoots gun because the one that I've got is dodgy. Blowgun set. Need that for doing some welding, keep it cool, aside from the other many useful things. Set of offset locking pliers, might be useful for something. A new tyre inflator because the other one's knackered. A set of extra long splined bits. Got Allen bits and Torx bits there, which will be handy, and an extendable 3/8 ratchet because the one of my new point set's knackered. And in here we've got two different types of shroud, and it's the push-on one that's the correct one. And I've got a whole handful of bits and pieces here so I can hook up the new air tools without nicking the ends out them, and hopefully I might be able to connect something up to get the regulator to work. Oh, and welding tips. So that was all I went in for, was the shroud and the tips, but I bought all that because, hey, I figured I needed it. Welding of rerouted manifold complete. Be nice to have a tube bender, but they're probably quite expensive to do up to 2.5 inch, but that's all welded together. End of that's welded on there. Catalytic converter, centre box. Don't know what the end's going to be like on it. We'll just have to check and see when I try to get the back box on it. Before the exhaust goes on, need to redo the sump because I tried to fit that without putting any silicone on it, like somebody said it was possible to do, so I tried it, doesn't work. Silicone on the sump gasket to fire that back on, sump on, exhaust on, fire it up. Hopefully it won't be leaking oil or exhaust gases, maybe. I am now just putting the bolts back into the sump. Need to go and buy like a couple of gallons of brake cleaner. Everything's covered in horrible minging oily shit. Right, manifold back in, tightened up, dipstick tube back in because can't get it out otherwise. Sump is on, having been sealed up. So what we're going to do now is pour the old oil back in it because it's not really old oil. It's only done, well, no miles, it's idled here for a bit. Good grief, why won't you come off? Well, the Astra's now running, no leaks to the front of it. It's a bit noisy from the back because it's not really connected up there yet. I'm not sure how happy I am with the way the exhaust routed before I weld it up, so I've not sealed it all up yet, but yeah, not too far away. I might probably put it on the ground and see how the exhaust sits in terms of where the shock absorber is at the back and how the exhaust's mounted. Yeah, I might go and order a couple of other parts off, some exhaust parts off eBay, we will see. I could just stick it together the now. Don't know, it's not that far away from it being MoTable. Yeah, sump sealed up, exhaust rerouted. Yeah, I might just weld it up tomorrow and see how we get on with it, so I get an MoT in it. I want to dig out the mirror covers for it. It's got 0 mirror covers, which looks shit. Anyway, that'll do for that for the moment. Let's go and jump on to seeing if we can sort out the leak in the Cavalier. Right, now Saturday morning. As you can see, I've had the gas bottles out, the chop saw, the grinder and all that because I am reorganising the exhaust in the Astra, and I think I've got it. That is sitting close enough to where it needs to be. It's in 3 hangers. What I've done here, this piece of pipe, I heated that up and bent it a little bit more. This is a piece of exhaust off something else. I don't know what exactly, but I'm going to weld this there and I'm going to clamp the exhaust there for the back box, and this is a piece of 2 1/4 which fits right over this, and it's a little bit bigger than that, but I'll be able to fill that out with weld. and I'll need to put a cable tie on that handbrake cable to keep it away from the exhaust, but that's alright, we can deal with that. So what I'll have to do now is clean this up, tack weld this into place in the bits that I want it to sit at, and then I'll have to take it off at the front again so that I may get a good weld right the way around there. I don't want to do it when it's on the car, it won't be as good. But as you can see there, we're not hitting anything at all and the back box is sitting straight. So that's nice. I'm going to take this off. There you go, my welding is complete. Entire system pretty much custom made using a bit of race tube, which I ended up hacking up more than I wanted to. Cleaned that up with a grinder as well. I think I'll get some VHT paint to cover up the naked metal bits that I've welded on this. Yeah, let's get it in the car and hopefully it will fit okay. Well folks, it's on, and it went on better than I expected it would. Connected up there, I've got a nice route through here. The exhaust isn't even hitting the handbrake cable there, come round there, miles away from the floor, missing the petrol tank. A little bit dubious about that clamp, but nah, that's not going to hit the tank. And we're away from the shock absorber here. Not that that would matter, I could go closer to the shock absorber because it moves and the suspension comes down. But we're on all three hangers here. It's sitting quite nicely out the back end, so now it's just a matter of firing up. And I hope to goodness it's not leaking badly anywhere, because this has been a mission. Should really have probably just left the standard manifold on it and bought, you know, an exhaust off the shelf that fits the thing, but that'll be good if we get it all up and running properly and the good old XEV decides that it wants to behave. Sounds alright. Doesn't sound too bad at that. I mean, sounds fine, it's not leaking from anywhere apart from one point. I've got a pinhole leak up in there. You can see a bit of moisture coming round it. But apart from that, we're all good, y'all. Obviously I've got the back panel to weld up there, but we're not going to worry about that now. Thank goodness for that, I can get on with some interior stuff on it. Need to get a look behind the dash on Kenzo's red Astra because it's an aircon model. Make sure I've got all my vacuum pipes right there around. And yeah, get all the rest of the dash and the interior built up on it. Decide if I'm going to run the airbag steering wheel I've got for it or not. So yeah, let's drop it down, kick it off a ramp, put the cavalier on. Next up, the cav. Strut top and water leak. The key's stuck in my pocket. Right, my flocked A-pillars. Just need to do the roof lining now. I've got my flocking machine. Let's go move this Astra out. There'll be no drive shaft rattling off the manifold no more when you go around corners. Now I've got to go and sort out my steering wheel situation. Sort out the dash, everything behind here, because there's a load of what's the heat situation like in this, because it wasn't good. Oh, that's decent, that's decent. Yeah, I'll need to go and find my steering wheel for this. It's decide if I'm putting the airbag on it, but if I am, I'm going to have to get another one of these plugs because I've accidentally cut the brown-white wire off it. Oh no, I suppose I could just run it separately the other side of the plug. What an idiot. Now that heat ain't bad. I've been running rad flush through it and back flushing it out. Got a little bit of the valve or twang with that manifold on it. Hey! Just successfully bled the brakes on that. Put the brake light switch on it. Can't get to the pipes at the back of the dash because I've not got my radio pins on me and I don't want to brutalise the dash. Trying to get it out so I can make sure I've got the pipes the right way around in this. So, as usual, most of the dash is dismantled in it again, but I'll put my airbag steering wheel back in temporarily. Now I'm going to go and do the strut top on the Cavalier. You know, it's funny, it no longer has a water leak. The silicone that we put on it must have set overnight. There's no water coming out of that. Let's drop some out the header tank before it's gone. It's sorted itself out, but there is no drippage. I'm going to tighten my power steering belt on it as well. Now this strut top has donked on it. They used to do it in Fab as well, and I don't know if it's got worse with the impact from the accident, so what we will do is replace it. Time out for my new splined bits. Where are they? Oh, beautiful! And extendable ratchet. Kitchen. Jeez, oh. Ah, lovely. I want a set of longer spline bits for a while. Put you down when I need to. Love my big horseshoe spring compressor, just the job. Makes life so much easier than those stupid wee clamp ones. So now we can whip this off, put the new strut top on. That's definitely slacking out. Back with a better battery. Of course it doesn't. Nut off, strut top. See, that shouldn't be like that. That should come off. It should just come off the top. That's not right. Don't like it. Oh, one strut top off, one strut top bearing removed. Right, going to get the new one. New strut top. Complete with bearing. I always grease these up. Loads of greasing about them. makes for a happier strut top bearing. Now I'm going to assume that this, there you go, that just went straight down on there, unlike the other one, which did not seem particularly happy. Well, that's him on. Right, that's too big for that. There he's out. I'm just going to go and remove my, no not, because my spring's altered position very slightly. Right, you sit there, and you sit there. There we go. Strut top fitted. Well, hopefully that's the Cavalier going to behave itself again. Strut top on. That's pulled that down tight to the strut top there. And on this one, which I tend to find with most Cavaliers, there's a little gap under there. I don't know. But that's great that that silicone sealed up and stopped the water leak out of there. I have got the gasket now if it does go again. Well, that's that. Peco exhaust fitted. About nearly 800 miles fired on it. It's gone fabulously. It's done about 6,000 miles this year already. So I shall now shift it about with the Astra and get up the road, because I've got the Omega to sort as well, which is in another video. While this was handling super well, going down to Wales and back, I always felt there was a wee bit something in the steering, and I think putting that strut top on it's taken it away. I haven't noticed any pronounced dunk noise yet. Might do it when I get back to the house. It usually does it when I spin it round there. There's one of those Yaris GR4 things. They're very fast, I believe. Not cheap either. Definitely just a little bit of slack from dead centre before, and that's not there now. Ideal. Might take it past this guy on his bike at some point. Aye, that'll do nicely. Able to test the handling at all at any point between here and home, or if it's going to be NPCs ruining all my fun. 30 miles an hour. There's a hot air balloon in the sky. Hey! chasing each other. Oh yes. How do we want some wheels or tyres?